Hi, my name is Traidy and I'm the founder of Chosen Family. Chosen Family was birthed out of a desire to see equitable and joyful services within the NDIS and mental health landscape. Our focus currently is on the LGBTQIA division of the community, and secondly, we also have participants who are part of the cis or straight community as well. So a few years ago, I noticed within the disability sector that it became extremely commercialized. It was lacking and void of humanity and joy within our service, and I felt this desire and need to start Chosen Family. My husband and I are obviously part of the LGBTQIA community, and like the LGBTQIA community, the disability community has been disenfranchised. And so we felt to open up the ranks and to include and welcome those who have often been shunned away or have been seen as too difficult or born a certain way and excluded from our community. Firstly, Chosen Family is completely different because no one can compete with us. Not only are we sassy and amazing, but we're also filled with joy, and I believe that our services are often using other frameworks that many organizations have overlooked. One of them is called intersectionality, and what that does is we look at the person holistically. We don't just look at their disability. So we take into account their religious background, take into account their cultural background as well. All those things we believe play a necessary and important part of their service delivery as well. So we shouldn't just be focusing on the disability or diagnosis, but instead we should be focusing on their family unit as well. So with all of this, we've seen that our services are a complete wraparound service and joyful, and in some way our clients are feeling much more supported. Instead of just the disability provider, they often feel like we are their chosen family. A heartwarming story I can think of right now, currently, we have a client who's come from the justice background, who's also had drug and alcohol interventions. Their family, in some ways, their network have been broken down. What we did with them was, when we completed our intake, I found out that this client's biggest desire or need, instead of us imposing our needs on him, he wanted to live alone and independently. And so we ended up finding him a granny flat. We placed him in the granny flat. He furnished it himself. And when I sat and spoke to him and his family, we ended up finding out that he actually had a daughter that he had not seen for many, many years. We connected him to his own daughter. They ended up having their first father and daughter date at the house, and he could cook for his own child. We saw that that ended up leading to him being more motivated to not go to drugs or alcohol. And ever since, he's been living independently and he's been very involved in his family. Well, if you're in the NDIS space and you haven't had any challenges, please just send me an email so I can have coffee with you. I think there's a multitude of challenges, not only from the NDIS itself, but what we're seeing is there's other intersecting factors. Often it's not just someone's disability that could be of concern. It could be housing, it could be drug and alcohol, it could be that their children have been removed. So there's so much overlaying trauma when you are dealing with a specific client. What I would say is the biggest challenges I've seen is actually racism. So most of the organizations I've spoken to who have African directors have told me, what are you doing? Why would you put your own face and your photo or yourself at the forefront of your organization? It's just going to lead to no more communication with other organizations, especially if they don't welcome or they're not open to multicultural services. But I felt the strong desire and need for that very purpose of having diversity within our sector to represent that and represent it well. So even though it's a challenge, I also see it as an opportunity and a blessing. So supporting our clients' goals effectively is at the forefront of our minds. I have mentioned some of our frameworks. One of them is intersectionality, which looks at an individual and every part of their life. There is another framework that we use, which is actually from South Africa, called Ubuntu. And Ubuntu means I am because you are. Meaning that if I water you or take care of you or nurture you, I actually nurture myself. So it's talking about a framework of interconnectedness, our humanity, our desires, our goals, we recognize that that person's humanity is at the forefront of our service. And so therefore, when we're doing that, we're actually blessing and taking care of ourselves. So we're only here today because of our partners and our collaborators. We've had great people come around us. So community is at our focal point. At this stage, I think within the name Chosen Family, it also shares that it speaks about some sort of community or some sort of trust within the NDIS landscape. We've affiliated ourselves on purpose with organizations who share our values and who also have a desire in some way to bring communities from varying organizations and parts of Australia together. So we have great and exciting news at this stage. We're expanding our services. We're now in every single state. We're in New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, and WA. Hopefully there is a desire as well to expand some of our other services. We've just opened up our support coordination services so we can help you with coordinating your supports and understanding your NDIS plans and your goals. Secondly, we have core supports. So any support you need in-home or in community, we welcome you to reach out to us. Lastly, we have respite and medium-term accommodation. These are all services we believe that are aligned to the needs of our community. Last but not least, we have LGBTQIA division with services and training that's being rolled out as we speak. For those who are looking to join the NDIS community, I want to say that you'll need to have a lot of patience. You'll need to have a lot of grace, not only for yourself, but the system itself. The system is so young and fragile and constantly changing and evolving. As we gain more data, as we gain more insight into diagnoses and disability and our sector at large, we are seeing that there is sometimes some barriers and challenges within that system. It may not be as inclusive as we desire, but I believe that if you align yourself with a great organization who have a focal point on educating you as well, empowering you, and also have a desire to not have you focused on their services only, but the community at large, you will thrive. So we welcome you coming to the sector. We can support you and help you, and I do believe great things are coming soon. So I think to the general population that are looking to NDIS, even those who are part of the LGBTQIA community, I'm drawn to this community because, like the LGBTQIA, we saw the disability community being disenfranchised and discriminated against for being who they are. I saw firsthand at Sill Homes many clients being dropped off by their families and shunned away, left there when it was Christmas or Easter or special holidays. And I ended up becoming their chosen family. And in the same way, I would hope to see that translated, that sense of community, equity and belonging. So to the general community, you're not alone. The more you start to join, the more you begin to advocate, the more you begin to speak up, we'll actually see many others will feel the same liberty and joy and courage that you have. So please, we need you to come alongside us and to stand with us and even walk with us. Often it feels like the work that we do is so personal because we're not dealing with a stagnant system or piece of paper. We're actually dealing with the fragilities of humanity itself. We're going to the core of who they are. And I believe that at this stage, I've seen a lot of burnout within our sector, but I hope to see those who are passionate, those who are advocates, those who are strong in this community, to also rally together and to encourage and refresh one another and actually welcome each other back into the sector with the same passion, same fervor. We need you. And I think I've seen from personal experience, sometimes you need to disengage, but even when you're disengaging, we hope that you do come back at some stage.